The first thing I want to say about the growth mindset is that it releases you from the idea that it is too late. So many of us may be in our 40s, 50s, 60s, and beyond, and may think it is too late for me to do whatever it is that I wanted to do. So here's the truth I want you to carry with you. The growth mindset is not about working harder. It is about permission. It gives us permission to learn again, to try again, to choose ourselves again. Welcome, Queen. I am Dr. Monique. I am someone who decided to reinvent my life after the age of 50. I went back to school, I changed careers, I took charge of my health and my mindset. Let's get started learning about the growth mindset and how it can change your life. The growth mindset, it is not pretending that life hasn't been difficult, that you haven't had challenges. You don't get to be our age without having some type of challenges. But the growth mindset is about permission. It gives you permission to grow again. Okay, so what is a growth mindset? The term growth mindset comes from the work of a Stanford psychologist named Carol Dweck and her colleagues. And a growth mindset is the belief that your abilities, your intelligence, your health, your habits, and skills can be developed over time. In other words, you're not done, you're not fixed, you are not limited or capped at all by your past. What matters is your belief, your effort, your consistency, and your willingness to learn and to grow. This matters tremendously for women of a certain age who maybe weren't given the chance to really focus on themselves in their earlier years. Because we had so much responsibility, we didn't get a chance to really develop our gifts and our skills and talent. Unfortunately, many women over the age of 40 carry so much regret. They think, I missed my window, I should be further along, I don't have time to start over. The fixed mindset whispers to us, your best years are behind you. The world will say things like, you can't teach an old dog new tricks, but they could not be further from the truth. And this is near and dear to my heart because one of the visions I have for this YouTube channel is to teach women to live a life of no regrets. So we don't get to our later years and think, I woulda, I shoulda, maybe I could've. But we're going to live our life pursuing our purpose, attempting to maximize our potential. The growth mindset says your wisdom makes growth faster now. Doesn't make it slower. I always say to myself, I'm not starting over, I am starting from experience. And I speak the same thing to you. If you want to start something new, you won't be starting over. You won't be starting from the beginning. You will be starting from experience. You have achieved so many things in your life. You've gone through so many struggles. You have survived so much. Whether you have gone to college or you worked, you took care of your family, you took care of your parents, your family members, whatever you did, if we didn't pursue our dreams, right? If we delayed going after what we wanted, it wasn't because of laziness. It was because of responsibilities, caregiving, sacrifice, survival. There are bills that need to be paid. Those kids need to eat, right? There are things that we had going on that maybe we couldn't stop and really plan our lives or learn the things that we wanted to learn. A growth mindset reframes delay as preparation. It's not failure, it was just getting you ready. Scripture speaks to this beautifully. In the book of James, it says, consider it pure joy whenever you face trials, because you know that the testing of your faith produces perseverance. It says that your trials trained you, right? Everything that you went through made you stronger. Your challenges were not punishment. They were preparation for you to go forth, for you to conquer, for you to win. Now is your time. Many women are equally haunted by things that happened in their life, like divorce, or maybe you stayed too long in the relationship. You stayed too long in a job, or you have a dysfunctional job right now. Maybe you chose others over yourself. Maybe you feel like you should have protected your health sooner, right? But let me tell you, we have all made mistakes. We have all made bad decisions. But a fixed mindset says, you messed up, so now you must pay. You made your bed, and now you must lie in it. It is time for you to pay the piper, sister. But a growth mindset says, every choice taught me something, and I'm ready to use those things now. One of my favorite quotes is a quote by Nelson Mandela, and it says, I never lose. I either win or I learn. And that is such a reframe. So anything that has gone on in your life, and if you think about Nelson Mandela's life, spending all of those years in prison to be jailed unfairly, his mindset was so positive that once he was released from prison, that he went on to be the president. That is so powerful. He could have easily said, it's too late, it's done, it's over, I tried, but I failed. I'm just happy to be out of here. I'm gonna go live my life in peace. But no, he was able to use all the negativity that had happened in his life and turn it around for his good. And that is what the growth mindset does. It says the things that we went through can be used to help us to go forward. Women so often beat ourselves up when we make mistakes. We carry all the shame of what we didn't do, even after the lesson has been learned. Growth mindset helps to restore self-trust and get rid of the shame and the self-punishment. Now, this point really applies to women over 40. A growth mindset lets you learn to love your body again. After 40, many women, we feel betrayed by our bodies, right? The weight gain, the slow metabolism, all of the aches and pains, the fatigue, menopause, perimenopause, hot flashes, cold flashes, right? There's so much going on in our bodies. And if we're not careful, we'll feel completely betrayed. A growth mindset says, my body is changing and I can learn to work with it. It asks the question, what can I do to help my body function better? Should I eat better, drink more water, get more sleep, exercise, stretch, or take some supplements? What are the things that I can do to improve how my body is functioning? Let me give my personal testimony. When I was 51, I had 2 surgeries that year, and I also had gone to the doctor, had my blood work done, and they told me I was pre-diabetic and my cholesterol was up and just my blood work was all out of order. At my next doctor's visit, we were supposed to look at how we were going to address those issues. Because I had a growth mindset, I asked the question, what can I do to improve my health? Well, I changed my nutrition, right? I started eating more protein, eating more green vegetables, drinking water, making sure I got sleep. I began to exercise 3 to 5 times a week, to just walk on a regular basis to get my body moving. There was a point during that time where every day for 30 days I walked 3 miles. When I went back to the doctor, my glucose numbers were good, my cholesterol numbers were good, I was sleeping better, I had lost weight, and I had more energy, and I didn't have aches and pain. I had actually seen a rheumatologist because I thought I needed to get my knees replaced. But once I started working out and eating better, I no longer have aches and pains. I literally used to carry around Tylenol in my purse every day because I had headaches and I had body aches. Now, I haven't had any Tylenol in my purse or anywhere for years. So you don't have to just accept that you're getting older, so your body's going to break down. What can you do to mitigate all of that? So a growth mindset regarding our body is important because it reduces shame around health. It removes comparison to younger bodies. There is no point comparing your body to a 19-year-old, right? We don't have to do it. You don't need to compare yourself to anybody except maybe your future self or your past self, right? It's you versus you. A growth mindset encourages sustainable habits rather than extremes. You don't have to go out and lose 30 pounds in 30 days. Just change your lifestyle. So health becomes a relationship, not punishment. You can go to the gym not because you hate your body, but because you love your body. You can eat well to lose weight, not because you hate your body, but because you love your body. It is a completely different thought process, and one will give you more results and you'll enjoy it. With the growth mindset, you quit asking your body, why can't my body do what it used to do? And you start asking, what does my body need now? Another way a growth mindset can really have a positive impact on our lives as women is that it can stop you from internalizing systematic barriers. So what do I mean? So we as women in general and women of color specifically, we've had to endure racism and sexism and workplace ceilings and being overlooked and overworked. A fixed mindset will say, maybe I just wasn't good enough. Whereas a growth mindset understands that this system was not built for me, but my growth and my success will not be confined or defined by that system. This shift restores your confidence. It prevents burnout and self-blame for things that are absolutely not your fault. It also opens up space for new paths, for you to have a new journey. A growth mindset allows you to move merely from surviving to thriving. So let me give you an example. I had a student, he was a young black man, and we were talking one day about different careers. And he told me that, they not gonna let us do whatever. At the time, Barack Obama was the president of the United States, the leader of the free world. But this young man had a fixed mindset that he wouldn't be allowed to do whatever career it was. Right? They won't let you. So I said, well, who are they? He said, you know who they are? And I said, well, what are they going to do to stop you? Are you saying you can't go to college? Are you saying you can't get the certificate? Like, what do you mean? And so on one hand, I made him a little bit angry because he thought I was pretending not to know what he was talking about. But on the other hand, a light bulb finally went off that yes, the system's not built for me, but it doesn't have to contain me. And every day we are still hearing about people who are the first black person to do this thing or the first woman to do that. In the year 2026, people are still being first. So if they didn't let us do it in the past, if there were too many barriers up, then you can be the first, right? A growth mindset says, hey, maybe I will be the first. So the Bible tells us actually in Galatians, it says, let us not become weary in well-doing, for at the proper time we will reap a harvest if we do not give up. So this is one of my favorite scriptures. I learned it in the King James Version, and it says, we will reap if we faint not. Right? If we don't give up and we don't quit. So as you go on, as you pursue, and you just keep on going to pursue your dreams, you will achieve it if you do not give up and faint and quit. Consistency matters so much more than speed, and faithfulness matters more than comparison. You never have to compare yourself to anyone. A growth mindset will turn your reinvention into a process. Some women believe that other people can change easily, but not me. I am just not disciplined. I always start and stop. I have too many barriers. There's too much going in my life. I do not have the time. I'm too tired. Right? I have heard every excuse that you can imagine. It's not that you don't have valid reasons. Well, you want to make sure, even though you have some reasons that could stop you, we don't want your reasons to be an excuse. So maybe you are short in time. That is a fact. You have a lot going on. But there's still something that you can do to move you closer to your dreams. So a growth mindset would say, well, what can I do with only an hour a week or 2 hours a week? So back to the excuses. A fixed mindset will have all these different excuses and say, this is just how I am. I have always been late. I have never been able to learn math. Are you telling me that if math is something that you need to do, let's say you want to go back to school to be a teacher and you have to take a math class, you're telling me that if you study and get a tutor and spend time, that you couldn't be better in math? A growth mindset says absolutely. That if I put in the effort, I will improve. That if I study for the test, I will pass it. If I go work out in the gym, if I eat better, then I will get better. If I put forth effort, there will be some results. A growth mindset will reframe a situation and say, consistency is a skill. It is not a personality. It is something that can be developed with time, with effort. A growth mindset removes identity-based shame and invites structure without judgment. What do I mean by identity-based shame? When you're saying, I am anything negative, then you are identifying with that thing that causes you shame. If you say, I am old and out of shape, I am not that smart, I am slow, I am bad at math, I am uncoordinated, whatever it is that you're saying that will stop you from going forth and achieving your dreams, you have to be very careful with anything after I am. So if you're saying positive I ams, that's great. If you're saying I am a queen, I am a child of God, I am intelligent, I am wealthy, I am making progress every day. So you can say the positive I ams, but be very, very careful about the negative I ams. You need to give up the fixed mindset and quit asking yourself, what's wrong with me? Start asking yourself, what is right with me? If I need help, what help do I need? Do I need a trainer? Do I need a tutor? Do I need a coach? Do I need an accountability partner? Do I need to read a book? Find out what it is that you need. And this is where the real change begins. A growth mindset starts with awareness. So please be careful and listen to yourself as you're having this self-talk. If you're saying, I'm not good enough, what's the point of trying? I shouldn't have to work this hard. If you're saying any of that, have a gentle reframe and tell yourself, everyone starts somewhere. Everyone was a beginner at some point. Effort means growth, and consistency is learnable. I actually refer to myself as the queen of the reframe. You've heard the saying, when life gives you lemon, make lemonade. I like to say lemon meringue pie because I do sometimes make those. So when life gives me lemons, I make lemon meringue pie. I am grateful for my past because it has made me wise. And if I had not experienced different hardships, I might not be able to relate to so many of you. So from that perspective, it's a blessing to my life because I want to be able to relate to you. So here's the truth I want you to carry with you. A growth mindset does not deny or negate anything that you have been through. We've experienced trauma, we've experienced all kind of things, but the growth mindset honors it. It just refuses to let that be the end of your story. So for women in midlife, the growth mindset is not about working harder. It is about permission. It gives us permission to learn again, to try again, to choose ourselves again. And a growth mindset protects your future. Let me know how this message has helped you. Leave a comment and let me know what other topics you want me to talk about. This is only the beginning. So watch the next video and subscribe because you do not want to miss this life-changing information.